His missions covered everything from gathering information in Berlin to popularizing Soviet culture in France. We will tell you how art intertwined with big politics, how his friendship with Skoropadsky and fulfilling orders under the pseudonym Yarema turned into espionage, and why the Soviet authorities entrusted him with obtaining Hitler's watercolors from Ribbentrop and sending them to Stalin. A story from the declassified archives of Ukrainian foreign intelligence about a man who found himself at the very center of the events of that time.
Mykola Glushchenko is a Ukrainian artist and spy. Born in Samara, Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, Ukraine. His family lived in Kharkiv. Glushchenko began his education at a commercial school in Donetsk. At the age of 17, Glushchenko, along with other students from the school, was mobilized into Denikin's army. Having escaped from internment camps in Poland, he ended up in Germany. In Berlin, Glushchenko entered the Higher Academy of Arts. However, his talent was noticed and supported by prominent figures of the Ukrainian emigration: Pavlo Skoropadsky, Roman Smalstotsky, and Volodymyr Vinichenko. Thanks to their support, he began to gain recognition. In the third year of his studies, German magazines were already writing about Glushchenko, calling him one of the most promising artists of his time. However, Mykola wanted to return to his homeland. While still in Berlin, he applied to the USSR consulate for citizenship. There, he met Alexander Dovzhenko, but did not receive his desired document at that time. Only after moving to Paris in 1925 did he manage to obtain a Soviet passport. In Paris, Glushchenko became a prominent figure, not only in artistic circles, but also for the Soviet secret services. He actively promoted Ukrainian art abroad, organized exhibitions, and proposed topics related to the lives of Ukrainian peasants and workers. This activity attracted the attention of Soviet intelligence, which decided that an artist with such connections among the emigrants could be useful for their purposes. In 1931, the Chekists began to monitor Glushchenko. They intercepted his letters to his relatives, from which they learned about his financial difficulties, his intentions to return to Kharkiv, and even his attempts to support his family during the Holodomor. Once, Mykola sent a parcel with lard, but the customs returned it. Instead of food, he sent money. Recruitment became a matter of time. In February 1931, the GPU decided to hold a recruitment interview in Prague, but Glushchenko refused to meet in person. However, in Paris, he still agreed to negotiations. In 1933, after 2 years of observation and analysis of his contacts, an agreement was drawn up with Glushchenko as a foreign agent of Soviet intelligence. Outwardly, Mykola remained an artist. He created works for Soviet missions, promoted the idea of French-Soviet friendship. But in the shadows, he collected information about Ukrainian immigration and passed it on to Soviet authorities. His paintings are exhibited in Berlin, Rome, Stockholm, Bucharest. He is a star of art circles, but he has a secret known only to a narrow circle of people. Glushchenko is a spy. His official activities seem innocent. In January 1931, he writes to the All-Ukrainian Society for Cultural Relations with a proposal to organize an exhibition of works by Ukrainian emigrants in Soviet Ukraine. 25 artists, he notes, are ready to create paintings on workers and peasant themes. He adds that he himself dreams of a personal exhibition in Kiev or Kharkiv, but this letter had a double bottom. Through him, Soviet intelligence saw in Glushchenko a potential agent who could provide access to valuable connections and information. Over time, his tasks become more complicated. In 1940, Glushchenko, on the instructions of Soviet intelligence, goes to Berlin. In central Germany, He receives information about Hitler's preparations for an attack on the USSR. He is given an album with Hitler's watercolors, which became an instrument of the political game, and ordered to seize a painting by Van Gogh. But Glushchenko himself was under constant surveillance. In May 1936, he arrives in Kyiv. The documents from Moscow stated, on May 28th, at 12 o'clock, he will wait for Maryanovich near the monument to Volodymyr. The meeting took place on Volodymyrskaya Hill. Intelligence carefully monitored his every step. They knew about his contacts, movements, and even what he did in his free time. Mykola Glushchenko was not only an artist, but also part of a huge game between countries, and his talent became a tool in the struggle waged by the Soviet leadership. His life was a balancing act between the world of brushes and spy intrigues.